How has been your experience at Davos this year?
Oh, it's terrific. It's always a nice place to come, especially when the weather is actually good. So,
In all the sessions that you've attended and all the discussions that you have had, in what context is India being discussed this year?
I mean, Davos is such a very big place. I don't think any one country comes up at a very high rate. I think that India, as it's being discussed pretty generally, it's what you might kind of expect. It's a destination for a lot of work because it's got a very highly educated labor force. And so jobs that could have been done in the U.S., now people are asking, oh, why not do that in India? And obviously that started with things like data entry and call centers, but people are starting, and programming, but I think people are starting to think about more and more and a diverse set of skills.
And how has been your experience at the Adda this year?
Oh, I'd be starving if it weren't for the Adda, so there we go.
Okay.
It's terrific here.
And what are your thoughts on India being a business destination for global companies?
I mean, I think that it has many of the things you want. Educated labor force. It's got, obviously, a terrific place to live. When I think about it myself and I think about friends who have moved there, I think if there was one thing holding India back, it's simply that when you, a lot of the very small, everyday annoyances of life, how do we build infrastructure to get around them? You know, when I went to Bangalore 15 years ago, beautiful place, easy to get. I would have moved there in a minute. Now, 2 hours to get from the airport to my hotel. It's hard to live life when 2 hours were spent in transit. Or I love spending time in Chennai, but I do it despite the fact that every once in a while the power goes out. It's very hard. So all of these little annoyances, I think, add up and make it hard to recruit high-end labor, international labor, and say, hey, do you want to live in Chennai? If you say, do you want to live in Singapore? There's no annoyance. And so I think that the next challenge for India is to figure out, these may seem small, but they make a big difference.
What's your outlook for the long-term growth of the Indian economy? Where is it headed?
Oh, if I could see the future, I would do it for more things than looking at the Indian economy, I'll tell you that.
Sure. And like you being one, Indians working abroad have made a good name for the country, if I may say so. How, in what ways it is impacting the perception of India on the global scale?
I mean, I think that stereotypes of any racial group are obviously bad, but India has benefits from a positive stereotype. I think most Indians are thought of around the world as smart, hardworking, highly educated people, and that's not just because of Indians working abroad. That's because of Indians working in India. That's because of just the Indian culture and ethic towards education. I think has been there for generations, and now the rest of the world sees it and appreciates it.